A monarchy is a system of government where the head of state is a king or queen, perhaps an emperor, uh, and these transitions only occur by blood, that is, inheritance or warfare. That is, a king is a king because his father was king or because he killed the king. Those are the only two ways to become king. Um, Although, technically speaking, there is the 1980s comedy King Ralph. Although that even is an inheritance by blood, just a very, very, very lengthy legal explanation for an inheritance by blood. So, the idea then is that what you want is a benevolent, ideally benevolent, although a king or queen can be benevolent or destructive. But they have the control of things, and sometimes you have a constitution. When you have a constitution, that's much closer to a democracy. True monarchies are rare because people rarely like being told what to do without a say in the matter. But the kingdom of God we know is a kingdom, and so having a king is an imitation of God's way of things. It is closer in theory than democracy. The difference being, of course, that there's only one king. And a good king on earth can represent the interests of God, and a bad king on earth can give monarchy a bad name. We, by being raised in a democratic environment, are actually handicapped to understanding an environment where there's only one ruler who Jesus is sympathetic to our needs, but when we disagree, sometimes we just have to learn to adjust. It's not that he's going to fix the government of heaven for your preferences. We are prone to argue and complain about everything. And that is going to be a great handicap for those living in heaven. We know that until the time of Saul, the people of Israel had a priest. And they said, we want a king. So it wasn't God's idea to even give people kings. Jesus is the king, but he didn't want to put an earthly king on earth to confuse us about what monarchy is. They insisted, and God gave in. But what they wanted was someone who could impress other heads of state. They wanted somebody tall and strong, who we actually know was a coward and prone to mental instability, and inclined to kill people who appeared to be competing with him. So, kingship brings with it a great deal of scrutiny for ways that we fall short of the image of God, because we know deep down the kings are representative of the authority of God. We know that every king is placed by God. And furthermore than that, we know that we're talking about people that lead countries, really, when we say king. But we have different terms for that in different government systems. But God sees presidents and premiers and kings on the same level as far as their responsibility to lead countries in his name. Okay, if I blessed you, encouraged you, or equipped you in any fashion, please like and subscribe. Uh, Comment. As always, pray more, complain less.